Alright, so it's Kimberly from Wind, and tonight I have a tutorial on how to do your eyebrows, right? And one of the first things you need to do when you're doing your eyebrows, especially if it's your first time doing your eyebrows, you need to measure your eyebrows. Now, everybody has their own individual measurement. So what you do is you measure with what already, your features that already exist, right? So to get your middle measurement, you take a straight object and line it up with the outer corner of your nose, and that is the center point for your eyebrows. Alright? And do the same. Now, you would mark it off so that you could get an idea. So like what some people do is they might put like chalk or something at the edge of the brush and like mark it, or you can mark a concealer. Sorry, yes, not chalk, concealer. That was my mistake. Right? And once you do that, that's your first measurement. Now some people go all extra and even do like a measurement crossways, and you'll have the starting point lining up with the outside point of your brows, and that's to help make sure that they get everything on point, right? But you can also eyeball it, but measurement again, center, lining up with the nose, and then okay, this would be a little trickier for some people. Your second point for your arch, when you're looking straight ahead, tilting, you're leaving the brush at the same point from the bottom, right? But you're tilting the brush now to line up with the natural arch of your brows, and at the same time, if you're looking straight ahead, the brush will kind of like cross the center of your eyeball, and that would be your arch point, right? Now if you notice, it's like you're almost forming like a bit of a triangle on your face, because when you do the same here, that's the result you end up with, right? And this triangle on your face, you generally want to have like all the brighter stuff going on when you actually get into putting on your makeup. It's like contours and cheekbones and all that, right? But back to the brows, your final measurement is again using your nose as a starting point for your origin for all your measurements, right? So again, you line it at the same point at the edge of your nose, and you take it to the edge of your eye, which is corner here. And okay, my eyebrows seem to stop a little short naturally, so when I'm drawing on my eyebrows, I could just extend it to that point. Alright, but yeah, those are your three measurements, and like I said, you would mark it off, right? And once you have those three measurements, you're satisfied with, again, this is just being extra, let's call it. But yeah, once you have those measurements, you can actually begin marking your brows. Now, you could do this in many different ways. You could do threading, which is the people have the thread, and they sort of intertwine it to some extent, and then they start like pulling the thread along, and it moves like little scissors to clip off stray hairs and so on. Alright, well, seeing that my eyebrows are done, I could skip this step here that I'm gonna mention. Like, you could actually brush the hairs up, and whatever method you're using, you could like remove the hairs that step out of bounds. See these are the hairs I'm speaking about, naughty hairs. Alright, and your next step again, or actually if you're using the razor blade, it's a bit trickier to some extent. Method easier than this is actually to use an eyebrow shaper. The eyebrow shaper, I have none to demonstrate with at the moment, but it's basically just like this brush, but it has like a blade at the end, and you would kind of like line it up flat against your face, you know, blade facing inward, and you start shaving. Right now, you would sort of know when it's feeling comfortable enough to not cut you. It usually like glides against the skin for like a short stroke without resistance here, and you just continue along, you know, shaping, going, right, within the measurements that you made on your eyebrows, right. Now, when you had made those measurements, you could actually like connect the dots and like basically draw your brow, and then do the shaving, alright. But again, alright, again, with the razor blade now, it's a little trickier because it's kind of intimidating for a lot of people, especially, again, this is not really a beginner tool. It's like you have a big risk of cutting yourself, and razor blades, especially when they're brand new, they can cut you and you wouldn't know what happened. All you know, you just see your face bleeding. Alright, so again, the eyebrow shaper is a good alternative for people who are not very comfortable with razor blades. They don't know how to wax, and they don't know how to thread. To be honest, I don't know how to thread either. I've never done it, but I should try at some point. So I'm still pondering with my eyebrow because I find it looking pretty clean. But you know, for the razor blade though, what I find is that I get a very clean shave, and it tends to remove all the dry skin that might be hiding around the area, so that when you're finished, you get like a slight halo, which is what makeup tries to achieve. You know, like after you do your brows, you create the definition with your eyebrow product. After that, it's go in with the concealer, and you put the concealer right underneath the brow, right over the brow, a flat brush. Oh yeah, right, a flat brush with a little angle, yeah. And this brush helps you to make a straight line with no fuss, right? But back to the good old bestie here. I love it. Cheap. It does your eyebrows really good, and I've been using this, let's just say, since I've been in secondary school. Not the same blade, but razor blades. Right. So I'm going to go on to do my brows. Right. After this, I can clean this off with some sort of alcohol, and you know, let it air dry. Right. So again, same techniques. You line up the blade flat against your face, and within your marker, you try not to interfere with the actual brow. Right. So like potato chips under my eye. Yeah. But yeah. Go ahead and shave. Now it's gonna have like a slight bit of a sting to it because you're putting steel against your skin. So that's normal. What you don't want is when you put it against your skin, you feel as though it's tugging your skin along with it, because that's probably a signal that you're gonna get cut. Right? Again, learn that the hard way. Alright, so I'm just continuing along, trying to catch all the stray hairs. I am using my camera as a mirror. Not the best idea. Use a mirror. Right. And again, I've been doing my eyebrows since I've been in school because I have unibrows. Not like beastly unibrows, but unibrows enough that you could see it. So I learned this from the time I was about 14. Alright. Again, then flat up against the skin, make the shave. Alright. I'm quite happy about this. Alright. No, I'd actually preemptively clean my skin with alcohol. That's also a step you kind of want to do. But this is also like a new razor blade, which I will still clean before I use it. And now, under normal circumstances, if I left my eyebrows to grow out fully, I'd have eyebrows going straight across and like a little bit of hairs like on top there, but nothing too excessive though, just slightly noticeable. So again, remember that tip I mentioned where you could just displace the hairs and see who hanging out? Clip him. Just doing this alone gives the eyebrow like a much neater finish when you start combing through it, because part of the reason your brows will look untidy is because the hairs kind of lying outside of the boundary. So. Right, that's one. I keep looking that way when my camera is actually that way. I don't know why. Right. And yeah, basically repeat that for the next brow. This is probably like a barber thing, but I feel as though there have a lot of times I'll be out and about and I will see people doing their eyebrows like this with razor blades. And before I started doing it, I used to be like, oh my gosh, these people are afraid to suck off their face. I just couldn't imagine doing that at all. I was like, oh my god. My daughter has woken up though, so I need to check on her in a little bit. Again, send the blade under the arch, get it here. Do like a light little clip here. Some people may even feel more comfortable going like a small pair of scissors and just like clipping whatever hair lying out. Just snip, 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 and then you just, you know, check your eyebrows to make sure they're fine. And with eye, okay. So, I could do now, just get some things to disinfect the area. I could get like a methylated spirit or rubbing alcohol or something and just like wipe the area after. No, because I just remove all the dry skin in the area, sometimes the eyebrows could be a little sensitive in the area surrounding, and it may feel as though your face is going to burn off, but it won't. It'll be fine. Alright. Yeah, so that is how you shave your eyebrows, at least with my my crazy lady method with razor blades. Yeah. And the next tutorial where eyebrows concerned could be using makeup. Eyebrow gel, concealer. Bye. Okay, see you in the next tutorial.